What's up, everybody? I'm Josh Meek, the Uber Geek. Welcome to Pretty Dece, your daily entertainment and pop culture show. Thanks very much for joining me on the show. We're going to talk some video games today. And we've talked about on the show before, the trend is starting to form where Wii U games are getting ported over to the Switch. Some of the games that were like the biggest on the Wii U that Nintendo made, they have already moved over or are going to move over to the Switch. Just because, the Wii U was a system that didn't really sell that hugely. Not a ton of people had a Wii U. A lot of people who were diehard Nintendo fans skipped the Wii U altogether. So games like Mario Kart, which has already come over, Hyrule Warriors, which is coming out soon, those games are just getting transported over to the Switch, where they might find a larger audience, because the Switch has proven to be very successful. The Switch is finding an audience. People are really signing up for the Switch, and this thing is selling incredibly well, especially compared to the likes of the Wii U. So it makes a lot of sense to get these awesome games where the work's already been done on them, they've already been completed, and get them in the hands of people who never had the opportunity to play them before. Now, it seems like other companies are starting to jump on this bandwagon now and moving their games up to the Switch. And that's happening with one of the rarest games on the Wii U. And just because it's rare doesn't mean it's a good game. This game is Hello Kitty Cruisers. It's Hello Kitty Cruisers with a K. This is a Hello Kitty kart racing game. And yes, it is one of the most rare games on the Wii U. It came out in 2014, it launched on the eShop, and there was a physical version. And the physical version, apparently they didn't produce a ton of copies, and it also didn't sell that well, so you just can't find them very easily. And despite the fact that it cost like $20 when it first came out, copies are running anywhere from $80 to $200 if you find them aftermarket on the internet. So collectors of Wii U that want the full set have to shell out, multiple times what that game was originally valued at in order to complete their collection. Well, it was just announced that Hello Kitty Cruisers is getting ported to the Switch in its full form, so you'll be able to get that game for a more reasonable price if that was something that you were on the fence about. It's a weird port. It's a weird port to come to the Switch, notwithstanding that it's kind of a bad game, apparently. The handful of reviews that are out there for the Wii U version show that the game is, maybe middling at best. One review was quoted as saying, "It's not the worst game they've ever played," which, if that's not high praise, I don't know what is. The game is also, it was on the Wii U, but it was originally an iOS game that got ported to the Wii U, so things are looking even more down there. The video of the game just shows kind of just muddy graphics, kind of terrible art, no real detail to anything that's happening, and I have no idea, of course, how that actually controls and plays, but, we're looking at maybe something of a turd coming out here on the Switch. Now, this is a funny little aside that it just happens to be one of the rarest games, the most expensive games to find on the Wii U, and is coming over here to the Switch. But I think it kind of points to something that is maybe a bit larger that we might start seeing happening on the Switch. The Wii U was not a super successful console, so you didn't see a lot of companies just shoveling garbage onto the Wii U. However, the Wii that came out before that was incredibly successful and found mainstream success that video games hadn't really seen for a long time. And because of that, we had a ton of companies just throwing garbage games out on the system in the hopes that people would buy them, in the hopes that unknowing parents would buy their garbage games and they'd be able to make a quick buck on a system that was selling like hotcakes. The Switch is nearing that capacity. The Switch is incredibly popular. It's selling incredibly well. It's much closer to the success of the Wii than the Wii U was. And now this maybe is the start of the trend where we're going to start seeing this type of shovelware getting added to the Switch. I certainly hope that's not the case. I hope that Nintendo starts doing a good job of vetting some of these games that are just straight up broken or just straight up cash grabs, that they don't sign off on those on showing up on the Switch, because I think that ended up really being one of the detriments to the Wii. No one knew what was a good game, what wasn't. So many people were these Wii owners that just didn't know how to correctly evaluate a game, didn't know where to go get the resources to learn what was a good game and what wasn't. So they ended up giving up on the Wii because everything seemed like crap that was coming out on the system. I would hate to see a truly awesome system like the Switch fall prey to some of those same tactics and some of those same things happening. But only time will tell if this is the start of a trend or if this is just going to be kind of a game here and there. So that's going to do it for Pretty Dece for today. Thank you very much for joining me to talk about Hello Kitty Cruisers. Make sure that you like Pretty Dece on Facebook, facebook.com/PrettyDeceShow. Of course, follow me on Twitter @PrettyDeceShow and visit PrettyDeceShow.com. I'll be back tomorrow for another daily episode. In the meantime, make sure you hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel, on the podcast, and inside the Anchor app so you never miss any of the content.